Hey, this is MassX with a brand new One Punch Man the Strongest video. And yes, I'm back, kind of still traveling, still not having a lot of excess time, as you can probably tell, because I have not been releasing much videos. And quite honestly, my gameplay in games is basically I've put on hold or dropped a slew of games I played for this summer while I'm traveling, and really I'm only doing 3 games religiously daily, and making sure I do all the dailies in those games and what's necessary, and that is about it. But I digress. So if I'm not responding quickly or anything, honestly, I just am not on Discord or anything right now, hardly ever, and my apologies, but I said before in other videos, through the month of July, end of June through July, things are going to be very sporadic for me. But with that, I had a little time today finally. I know I missed the grand shebang with, yes, Deep Sea King SSR Plus dropping. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to do a little bit of a count, show you guys where my account is at. When I've had some free time in here and there because of the meta changes that are going to be coming, I blew my account up and really reverted a lot of stuff. Did a focus on pretty much my 6 primaries and just going to see how the cards fall. I fully expect that we're going to get our new core probably in September to coincide with the anniversary. Yada yada yada. We don't need to get into that ugliness. I did a very loud and verbose video on that, but let's go ahead and take a look at my account, as well as talk about a few things that I hope you guys have been paying close attention to. But really, first off, in my primary joy in this account is of my Gogetsu. He is just a beast. I put everything into him after I decided I was going to tear apart my CK, and as you can see, he's just stat-wise just an absolute beast. Really, the focal point with him, of course, is going to be the HP. He lives and dies by that first and foremost. Has a solid block rate at almost 50%, which helps him out a lot. His resist is even pretty good. I wanted to get it higher at 39%, especially with DSK coming. But yeah, he is just my pure beast that I really, he is the sole holder of that front line for me. What CK was for everybody for so long, he has become that. I've even gone crazy on his equips. I use drive on him because I like the damage reduction. Yes, I could get more HP percentage, but I would prefer having that extra damage reduction, at least to me. And for the buff gears, you would expect, of course, HP buff. I've got triple HP percentages on him, plus 2 more. I don't know how I got that. It took a lot of tries, but to this day is probably the single best piece I've built, specifically for a character. The fact that I was able to get 3 HP bonuses into 2 normal HP is great. Some block rate, the resist, like I said, I got 2 resists on there. I would rather get rid of that block rate and get another resist now with the advent. Crit isn't as important to me, but again, another solid piece. And of course, more HP bonus, some damage reduction, and damage reduction rate, as well as damage rate and some more HP. Really, just to me, one of my most solidly built characters, and it shows by where he's clocking in at. Just an absolute beast. My next 2 are the ones that I decided, well, my Garu I've been working on, so he really wasn't behind horribly. DSK took a lot of stealing from a lot of different places, but my Garu, and the reason why I'm focusing on Garu now, not over Atomic Samurai, because my pride and joy before was, of course, Silverfang. I loved my Silverfang. He was built like a juggernaut for offense, but his time is coming. He's still going to be useful in a lot of areas of the game, but when it comes to PvP, with the coming in of DSK, as well as some of the future characters in the next core. I want my Garu primed and ready, so I've been working on him. His stats are just, they're basically, he took Silver Fang's items and I put him on him to be able to get that attack to just be significantly over 3 million. That is the key. That and crit rate with him, I'm at 87%. Again, I know people are always, I got 100%. Honestly, when you do the figures, as long as you can have a character, if you need them to have high crit rate, if you can break the 75% mark, you're there. Yes, you can go ahead and if you want to waste more resources and tries and go higher, great. But in the end, if you can get above 75%, you're in good shape. And for me at 87%, it's exactly what I was hoping for. And his stats and what he does crit wise really show through. And just showing his gear on him, I use Machine God, of course, because I want the extra, I want the 12% on attack and HP to really, he's all about attack. I did forego one piece of being attack to go crit rate to make sure I was well above where I wanted to be with him. I find it important with him to have the crit rate personally, so I did that. As you can see by my stats for him, I was still able to get over the 3 million mark. Why? Well, if we go ahead and take a look at those buff gears, of course we're focusing on all attack, and he was the one piece I triple attack percentage on to make up for that loss, and sure enough, it was enough to make it work. Yeah, I would like to roll out that defense and defense reduction, but since you can only save 2, it's not going to happen. So, but yeah, it's very cool. And of course, him having, I got double crit on him. I could roll for a 3rd crit. Probably will try down the road again. Just didn't have much luck with him getting that like I did with my duelist one, but we don't need to talk about that. And of course, using bonus damage reduction and bonus damage and more attack. This one is just, yeah, we won't even talk about that one. But I look to, at the end, do I get where I want with my stats? And for him, it was always going to be crit and attack, and I got there. Everything else is icing on the cake. If I can manipulate and move some stuff or pull a little better, great. Until then, I'm incredibly happy with him. Now my DSK, man, it was tough building him so far. I really had to strip everything that I had left. Oh God, but it was worth it. His stats, my goal was solely, I was hyper focused on getting his attack to 3 million. I was able to do that. And his HP is no slouch. I went with getting hit over crit rate, and I've got the hit up to 24%. I would really like to get it higher. That's going to be my goal with him. And I'll go ahead and show you, because it really all comes down to your gearing. Now, I've got a weird set of gears on him right now, Ninja. The reason for that is I really want him to go as quick as possible, as well as I just had too good of effects on this Ninja set. And yes, I could transfer them, but I didn't have a worthy group of equips to get those to match over properly. So I went in and decided I've got the attack across the board on Ninja. Just go for that and let's see what happens. And that's really what I did here. And that was able to get him to the 3 million mark, as well as really push him over the edge. And talking about that again, I've got 2 attacks. I've been unlucky getting that 3rd attack bonus. That was going to be my goal, to get him to the point where Garu is. So I'm going to still be working on that, but at least for now, at least I got 2, knowing I've still got room to grow. The grappler buff gear, I've been focusing on hit. I was able to get 2. I've not been able to roll for 3, so I stopped because I was just burning too much stuff. You can see my diamonds at 827, so yeah, it wasn't going to happen any longer. But block rate for now, that's fine, but I would like to get the triple hit on him. And his last one really doesn't make a difference. I mean, luckily I got some damage rate and some damage reduction and bonus damage reduction, which is nice to help him survive. But again, my focal hasn't been on that third buff gear at this point for either Garu or Deep Sea King. That will come once I finish off the first two, which to me are always the most important out of the gate. Rounding out my top 6, of course, I've got, you know, what am I going to say? I've got Garu. I slowly work on him. He's doing fine. There's nothing really to show with him. I don't think people care about him that much. My Flashy Flash is in pretty good shape stat-wise. You know, he's over 2 million in attack. You know, he's not there to be an offensive juggernaut. He's there to just speed up your team and give some evasion. So I don't look at him as a full push ever. I'm happy. I mean, ironically, because of what's happened with my duelist buff gears, I keep pulling crits on them. And so yeah, I got a triple crit on this one for a duelist. I used to use it on my Atomic Samurai, of course. He is now gone to a secondary team, so I moved it over for Flashy Flash, of course. And of course the triple speed bonus, that's what you're looking for with any of your speedsters. And you know, just another attack buff on him. Got some damage rates, got some bonus damage, doubles, which is actually kind of cool. So yeah, not bad at all. I mean, but I don't go out of my way to keep working on him. And my king is pretty much laid the same forever. Haven't really done much on him in a while. He is, you know, he's got good enough stats for what he needs to do. His attack over 2 million. You know, my secondaries, that's what I look for. Attack over 2, and HP, you know, as high as you can get it, so they survive, because these are what you consider your support characters. So, and as you would guess with him, gear, because I'm using the fiery set on Flashy Flash, I have a ninja set on him. Same deal, attack speed across the board, because I still want him to go quickly because of his ultimate, and to me it is worth it. For the buff gear, of course, triple speed. What are you going to say? His other ones are not done that well. I mean, this one's horrific. Like I said, I haven't worked on him forever. And same with his S-Class. Neither anything to write home about, to say the least. But, you know, that's my main 6. Those are the ones that I've been focusing on now, and kind of really dismantled the gearing for my Atomic, my Silver Fang, down the line. Even my CK's gearing is not that great at this point, but they do what they need to do in the PvE area of the game. Now, one of the things I do want to talk about is the mastery system, now that we've had some time with it. I didn't bring up in my first video because I didn't know what they were going to keep or would not keep. Well, it's clear that basically we got it with DSK, so we should get this at the beginning of each month. You're going to get it a raised percentage for when you go and farm your items for mastery. So that's the time to shine when you really want to maximize your resource usage. But again, there are items for mastery that you can't purchase for even the people that spend, you really got to be careful. So now with the changes that are coming, one of the safest bets, of course, to delve into mastery, of course, faction type as well as class, is going to be DSK. It's going to have some longevity. So I've been working on mine. I still need to get 3 3 affiliated faction members to tier 3. That's what I'm working on now, to be able to start pushing him again, my DSK. It really is a marathon with masteries, and some of the things you gotta remember is, even though you can change your assist characters freely, like I mentioned in the prior video, you can't reset. These resources are incredibly valuable, so you want to make sure that you are using them on characters that are going to have some longevity. So to me, I know DSK is going to be around for a while and going to be used for a while. So there we go. Easy peasy to pick him. But again, if you want to advance him to some points, you're going to have some other faction characters like him. Well, right now, I'm feeling comfortable enough given the amount of investment I put in my Gogetsu. That's not a problem. Even though the core change is probably going to come in 60 days approximately, I went ahead and used Garu as the other one. But I'm doing the minimalist approach on those characters just to keep being able to push my DSK. That's going to be the goal for all of July. Only do the other two factions affiliated with him to the bare minimum to get DSK to keep moving up. That is my goal because of what you're going to have with the issues with mastery resources. So it's very important to management. Then when you go to heroes, it's a whole different story. It's much more difficult right now because I do see the phasing out of Atomic Samurai. Metal Bat's already been on his way out. Flashy Flash will be around for a bit. Silver Fang's going to slowly phase out. So it's much harder for the hero section if you want to build those. So be very careful. I want to take my Garu up and work on the character mastery, but I'm doing it very cautiously because I don't want to invest resources that go into characters that are going to be unnecessary. To me right now, if you really want to go in on heroes, you're probably looking at King and Flashy Flash if you have him. If you want to try to advance your Garu. To me, those are the most logical. Now, if you know you're going to be using your Atomic again for some time, then yeah, if you don't have Flashy Flash, probably go Atomic. Or if you don't have King, go for Atomic. But again, be careful. Same with like what I said about going with the villains. One focal point character at a time, and only use those affiliated characters, the bare minimum to move up the one that you really want to push. So you can really hold these resources because there's going to be more characters coming down to the road that will slot in that you're going to probably want to then go further on at that time. So just be careful because it is a resource desert when it comes to character mastery. Outside of that, showing my account, it really hasn't changed much since the last time, except for one of the few things I have focused on consistently since it's come out is the team emblems, but really only Undying Shield, and I'm pretty close to getting it done. It's such a freaking drag and takes so long, the resources, but it is almost there to get fully maximized to where I think, well, it's the only one right now that I've decided to fully max. Everything else is just here and there, and even my Sharp and Eternal Heart, I have a lot of resources that have dropped just for them, but I don't even bother leveling it because of course Undying Shield has been my sole focus, and Distorted Field of course as the secondary because it's used along with it, but really it's all been about Undying Shield, and it's really there at this point in time. I mean, I think I just have my Undying Emblem hero to really be able to wrap this up, and then at that point, whatever I pull, I'll put in if there's spots for it. If not, then I'll revert it to get the resources. But yeah, this has been such a long process, and I'm almost at least close to the end for this one. If I can just get it, so close. So close, a few more, and then it's all gravy from there. And then I will probably then start the slow methodical process of building Sharp Blade next. And yeah, But it's been a long one, but one of the few things in this game that I hate to use the word proud, but this is one of the things I've been very persistent with, and always striving to build it up whenever I can, when there's drop up rates, etc. And it's about there, 99% of the way there. Outside of that, my member training, I'm at 120. I'm about halfway to 121. It's such a grind at this point to get any further. It is crazy. Same with the type training, tier 22. It just takes forever at this point, so I don't even fret it any longer. I just do the daily pulls from it, because it is 88.6k to get to the next one. That is insane. It takes so long. It's not even worth the headache any longer. Outside of that, my lab, I really have not touched anyone except for the Garu core, and I literally just got it to level 14 the other day. Everybody else, I really haven't tried to push at all any longer. As you can see, the red dots. It's so much resources to me, it's not worth it. Yeah, it'd be fun to be able to mess around when you can get to the last core, but as a level 17, that is such endgame. It's not even funny. Most people won't even last that long. But in most of the cores, 1 and 2 are your primaries, and 4, the number 4 option on most, is the only one you would ever consider. 3 is usually a bust, so it's just not realistic, sadly, to have some fun. But that's kind of it. Just a little count showing. I know people, for whatever reason, like to see this, but yeah, I just figured I'd show my major 6. Outside of that, you can see there's a big drop off. Makes me sad when I see my watchdog man sitting down there so low. But one side note, with the advent coming of core changes in probably a few months, this would be a great time to work on your tank top vegan, especially if you're free to play and you have him. He can help you out a lot. I've even been working on mine very slowly, building him up. I'm trying to finish off his character talents. I got 1 and 2 done, working on the 3rd. But he will be one of those characters, even being an SR, that especially if you're free to play, you can take advantage of. So just if you want a long-term project that you don't have to rush, that is one to consider. But with that, I hope everybody that pulled on DSK was lucky enough to get him. Again, incredibly solid character. It does have longevity, like I talked about in my prior video before he released, but just bad timing for a lot of people, sadly. So if you have the ability to pull him, and if you don't have the resources or the tickets to move forward on him, then just wait till the rerun. But he is worth picking up if you can, and then plan for when that rerun occurs. And one last side note, I know I'm belaboring this video, it's way too long, so I'm sure you've probably shut it off by now, but the Hero Backup did release with an SSR Plus. But what is interesting about it is, they put in Awakening Stones, which is great, and he's a good character still. I still use him a lot, especially in PvE. But they put in just 1 Evolution Stone selection chest, which really makes no sense. Pick it up if you can, either way, even if you're not building the character. But I know that we're trying to find out why it was only 1, and hopefully they will adjust that, because this would be a great way to help out players to be able to get more evolution stones, and something that they can really take advantage of in these hero backups. So fingers crossed on that one. That's about it. I've talked way too much, and this video is way too freaking long. But with that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. And good luck with if you're going for the keepsake for DSK, and good luck building.